Hey everyone, welcome back. This is James Conrad, the 2019 USDGC champion, and I'm out here at WINTHROP Golds prepping for the 2020 USDGC. Thanks so much to Gatekeeper Media for filming this practice round, and thanks to InnovaDisc for not only running the show but sponsoring me and putting on a great event here. Start us off on the back 9, hole 10. This is a pretty wild hole. You know, it's definitely the easiest hole on the course to eagle, but it's also one of the holes that can get people in trouble real quick. I saw some big numbers out here looking at the scores on Monday for the Monday qualifying round. Yeah, it just ruined some people's rounds. So it's a hole that's great to, if you're comfortable just laying it up and playing it for birdie, it's a great play, but if you have the power to go for it, it's a nice chance to get 2 down starting the back 9. I'll probably do one of each, the layup and the go for it. If it's calm conditions like this and I'm feeling good, it's going to be hard for me not to go for the eagle here. One of my bottom stamp wraiths have been getting me close all week, so see if I can do it here. Yanked it, never had a chance, but that's why the layup's never a bad idea. No matter how good you feel about that going for it shot, if you mess it up, at best you're getting 4, and with a couple easy putter shots, it's pretty easy to make 3 on this hole, so never a bad play. Here on hole 10, any out of bounds shot plays from the drop zone here. So, like I was saying, a big number can happen quick. If you're throwing from the drop zone and you happen to miss that shot, you have to keep going from here. So that's what makes the layup a smart shot. But if you're comfortable from the drop zone and comfortable with the big tee shot, you know, you're going for the 2 or 4 play. You know, it's definitely there, and a lot of people will go for it. I might even as well. Well, it's one of the game time decisions. We'll see how I'm feeling on the tee, whether I want to lay up or whether I want to go for that 2. Definitely a sweet hole. You know, that risk-reward aspect is there big time, and it allows some of the big arms to go for a pretty routine eagle, but it's also a hole where some big numbers can come into play. I think the best I've ever played it was in 2017. I laid up the first 3 rounds, 2018. Laid up the first 3 rounds and made the easy birdies, and then the final round I was chasing down Paul, trying to catch him for the lead, and ended up going for it and making the 2. So I played it 5 down that week, and I think that's probably kind of what I'll do this week. You know, if start out playing it conservative, take the easy birdies where I can, and then if it comes to a point where I feel like I need that extra stroke, then that's when I'll go for it. Oh. Hole 11 out here at WINTHROP is another one that they like to tweak a lot. This year, the out of bounds is always kind of in the similar shapes. There's a big chunk of OB on the left, and then everything to the right of the basket is going to be out of bounds. But this year, all that OB is playing as hazard, so you play where you lie with a stroke penalty. That makes my decision on this one quite a bit easier. In the past, I've laid up and just played this for par, but with all this OB on the left playing as hazard, I can I can just rip full power, trying to clear it for the easy birdie, and if I end up coming up a little short, landing in that hazard, it should be a pretty routine up and down for the circle 4. Yeah, the layup play would be just a short putter short of the OB, then another one across the OB, and then up and down for 4, which isn't really any easier than getting that hazard 4 from a long drive. So just gonna try to go big on this tee pad. Oh! Whoa, a little wet, went down. I'm probably good on throwing another. I don't want to hurt myself falling on wet tee pads, but yeah. Ooh. That one was not good, but back into the hazard. So 1 out, throwing 3, 4 out, throwing 5 up, probably a double bogey, but again, it's hard to give that too much credit. Slipping on the tee makes a big difference. If I'm able to get a hold of a drive pretty well, it usually lands me somewhere in this area. If I come up a little weak, I'm gonna be right down in here probably for the good chance at circle 4, but hopefully I can get a hold of one and have this pretty routine up and down for a chance at birdie. Ooh. Coming into hole 12 here at WINTHROP. This is one of the biggest changes, I think. Similar to the last hole, all the out of bounds out here is going to be playing as hazard, so play where you lie with the stroke penalty. This is one where in years past, if you end up OB, you'd go to the drop zone, which was somewhere in the 350-foot range to the basket, and that was one that some people would just miss and then miss and miss and end up, with double digits for their score on the hole. And so this one's definitely going to play a lot easier. I think you'll see more people playing aggressive, where going for it into and coming up a bit short. Where in years past that could be pretty catastrophic. This year that will still be a pretty easy 5, which won't really hurt you too bad out here. But yeah, this one you still need a pretty nice drive to want a chance at birdie. If not, there's a big layup area to the left of the basket. So I try to get a huge drive out there, somewhere near where the drop zone used to be is pretty ideal for me, and then work with what I got. One good thing to note, just coming off a double bogey 6 on a hole that I'm looking to take 3 or 4 on, it's a good chance to, it's a high chance that something like that will happen this week, not just for me, but for everyone. It's such a tough course. There's so many places to make mistakes that it's good to just, not sweat it. It happened. You can have a little frustration at that, but you can take a little extra second on the next tee pad to collect yourself, to take a few calming breaths, try to get that heart rate back down just a little bit, and to really focus in on your next shot and just forget about that one. It's about what I'm looking for here. That should be near that drop zone that we used to play and should be a pretty routine up and down. I don't know the exact distance from here. I'd guess 375, something along those lines, but it's a bit uphill. It plays a little farther than you might think, so I try to throw a firm T-bird hyzer from this general area, and that should hang it a little wide of the basket, try to skip right up into the rocks. Maybe okay, came out a little nose up, got a little extra height than I wanted, but might have had the distance, we'll see. Yeah, releasing that T-bird a bit nose up, caused it to lift and kind of stall out, not get the distance I was hoping for, but like I was saying, yeah, with this plane hazard, it's not a mistake you want, but it's not one that's gonna really hurt you too bad. I mean, I still have a pretty good looking putt to save 4. Oh, sent it. Not the putt you want to have to make for a 5 out here or anywhere, but it can be good not to beat yourself up too much. We got a mower, hopefully y'all can still hear me, but even if you make a blunder like that, just sail a long putt past the basket, just try to shrug it off, try to take a couple breaths at your next lie, try to really focus in on that next putt and try to get that damage under control. You can make mistakes, and then you can compound those mistakes by getting too flustered and just losing hope and just giving up out here. But if you're able to take those mistakes in stride and step up to your next shots with some focus and with some intention, then it's a lot easier to manage that damage and to keep your scores under control. Stepping up to 13, I just want to kind of reiterate what I was saying on that last basket. I feel like I've been playing a decent little practice round today. If I was keeping score, I'd probably be, 1 or 2 down, maybe something along those lines. And that's with going double bogey on the last 2 holes. It's easy to you have a decent round going, you're doing okay, and then you have a couple bad holes, and you just see so many people just break down at that point and just give up and not take their time, not focus on the rest of their shots, and it just spirals out of control. But it's, especially on such a demanding course as WINTHROP, mistakes are going to happen, and they're going to happen to everyone. Like last year, I shot over par the final round, and that was enough to win the tournament. So never let a bogey or 2 get you down. Just the only shot that really matters is your next one. So for me, the next one is hole 13. OB all along the right side here on 999. I'm slightly thinking about eagle if we're playing to the left position, but if we're playing to that right position, I'm pretty much just trying to keep this one in play, then throw my second one up beyond those trees near the cart path, and hopefully chip over for an easy 4. It's going to start with a Wraith hyzer for me. This Halo Wraith has been money. Nice and stable, still get some good distance on a controllable hyzer line. Might throw my slightly flippier bottom stamp Wraith if I'm looking for a little more distance. If I feel like I need or really want that eagle, I want to end up a little closer to the cart path. Definitely brings in a little more risk off the tee, but sets you up for the for an easier second shot if you're trying to cross in two. See, that one drifted right on me, OB, so it's that risk reward, you know, there's a little more risk to playing that aggressive line, and it end up costing me there. I think I'm mostly going to be playing a bit safer on this hole, playing more for fours than for threes. This drive feels like a pretty nice position. It's definitely set up great for the layup second shot. It looks awful tempting, and you see so many people go for this shot from here to try to cross, and it's definitely doable. You know, I might find myself trying it one or two rounds, but the smart play is definitely going to be playing for four. You know, with a righty backhand, like hyzer kind of shot, you can get that road skip off the parking lot to get that little extra distance to have a putt for eagle, but to me it's rare that, you know, taking that much risk for possible one extra stroke versus having a really easy four going this way. You know, it's whatever you're feeling at the time, but I like playing the left side, playing it for four out here. I think that one flipped too much on me into the OB, so I guess that's where it's not even, if the layup's not even that safe, that's why some people might argue to go for this shot, but still I still think the better play is going left, you know, playing it safer, just getting a little more juice on that one. That'll be inbounds every time for me. I will try one across the parking lot just because it's fun. Ooh. Yeah. It's a good chance at three, and it's better than my botched layup, so it's whatever I'm feeling at the time, but I think I'm going to be going with the layup more often. Ideally, on that layup second shot, I'll just get a little more distance up into this flat area, at which point it's almost a jump putt to the short bucket, or a pretty easy shot to secure the birdie on the long basket. Yeah, it's a good reminder that on the layup, though, you still got to focus on the shot. You can't get lazy with it and throw short and come up OB, and that kind of defeats the point of laying up when you throw the layup OB. Yeah, so on the going for it, I left myself about a 40-footer to this basket, or 100 feet to the long pin. So it's definitely an option, and it can yield some highlights like Nico's albatross last year. It's super cool, so it's always fun to see people go for it. It definitely adds a little excitement to the rounds, and I may go for it this tournament. There's a few out here that it's just going to depend how I feel when I step up to my lie. See what feels right, see which way the wind's blowing, so on and so forth. Hole 14 out here at WINTHROP, another pretty iconic hole, downhill, tall basket. You got a lot of ways to attack. You'll see a lot of people throw a forehand. That's not going to be my play. I'm kind of split on the straight shot and the hyzer. I think with a tailwind, I'm definitely throwing putter straight at the basket. I've had good success with that in the past, but I've also been getting the hyzer over this first tree here to land pretty close, and I feel like in a little bit swirly or especially a headwind, that's going to be a more consistent play for me than the putter shot. I'll stick with that one for today. Just feeling good. This green always feels pretty special. I've made some pretty important plays here. You know, last year coming down the home stretch, I'd missed a putt on 13 for the birdie, then stepped up to this one and was able to put an AVR pretty much right in the bullseye to really get a little more momentum going into the home stretch. And then yeah, it's always a fun one if you end up somewhere up here or over here, because it's a putt that you really want to make, and then it's also a putt that can really get you in trouble. If you send it by, you might end up with turning that 2 into a 5, but hopefully I can get it in the circle down here and have a relatively stress-free birdie. Haven't done many straddles yet. Not too many out here needed though, so that's nice. Hole 15 is another really unique hole in this course. You have a straight tunnel into a triple mando, maybe I'd say 250 or close to 300 feet from the pad, and then you want to get through that triple mando clean and ideally get at least 50 feet forward and ideally a bit to the left, because once you get out there you got to navigate a little wall of trees, and then it's a really tight basket. So yeah, I'm probably going to go with the Leopard 3 again, possibly a T-bird. Just trying to throw it nice and smooth, trying to throw it on a little bit of hyzer, and hopefully get a skip to the left to make that approach shot a bit easier. That one straightened out on me a little more than I thought, but should be just fine. Yeah, here on hole 15, anything through the triple mando out to this open area is good, but as you can see here, I have a couple tricky little lines to choose from trying to approach the basket. That's why I was saying I'm trying to get a little more hyzer on that disc and hopefully get like all the way into these trees up here. If you're up in those trees, then it's really easy to hit those gaps and have a pretty simple approach. If I'm here, I'm probably going to be trying a little forced turnover. Looks like the biggest gap, so my best chance of at least getting a putt. A little denied. I'll try that one again. It's more what I was looking for. There's also some options to the right, trying to skip it up there close. I'll try one of those. I always kind of prefer the putter shots. Just because they land so soft. You know, if I can hit the shot just how I want and land the disc there, it's not going to get too much movement on the ground. Like that Firebird shot flew just how I wanted, but then got big old flare and another couple little skips, and it's going to leave me with a bit of a tester putt, where the well-executed putter shot is going to land right where I want it to, and hopefully not a long putt. Oof. This left side where this Firebird skipped to is going to be much more open than anything that gets too deep or too far right. Like over here you have some wide open putts, but about 3/4 of the way around this basket you're going to pretty much have an obstructed putt. So if you're gonna miss, skipping out here to the left side is gonna be where you want to miss. At least you have a good chance at this 36-foot putt. Hole 16, this is a great hole. It's challenging, but not overly so. There's some OB if you end up long or left or right. So yeah, you have to be pretty precise here. You'll see a lot of people play the wide flick. For myself, it's kind of right in between like a fairway and a mid-range distance. It's at 391, a little downhill. This week I've been having good luck throwing a nice smooth shot with this Leopard 3. This thing's doing work for me out on the course this week, and hopefully will through the weekend. I'm just trying to throw it flat right at those posts to the left of the basket. Maybe get a little drift right. Try to keep it pretty low so the OB left doesn't come into play. Oh, that was not a good one. Came over the top a little bit. I'm looking for flat to baby hyzer on that, and that was just over, just forced into an anhyzer, but I'll try again with the T-bird. Oh! I think I just black aced the short pin. That's the ladies basket. I think I hit a tree beyond it and kicked back into it. That's pretty funny.
That's funny. Just on this hole a couple days ago, you were telling me what one of those was.
Yeah. I'll just throw a putter anhyzer for fun. It's one of my favorite shots to throw on the course. It's not one that I'll really ever probably play in the tournament, but it's a fun one to chuck. Oh, I'm still playing right to that short pin. T-bird, fake ace. None of my shots were good on this hole. My first one I think was way OB over here to the right. That would play as hazard, so I'd have a long chance to save the par, but yeah, I don't need to put out this one. None of my shots were good. Just hopefully get that one a little more dialed in. I've been playing it well all week in practice, so it's one that I can pretty comfortably, I feel like get a good look for birdie on. Just have to focus down, throw a nice smooth shot right at it. All right, we're getting to the home stretch here. Hole 17 at WINTHROP. Definitely a crazy one. It's the last couple of years. It's been some of the most pressure, most stress, most nerves I've ever felt on a disc golf course. Yeah, two years ago, I was trailing Paul McBeth. I was in second, and I was 3 strokes behind Paul going into this hole. We had pretty stiff headwind. Paul ends up missing his first shot, missing the island, and then getting a flick on. So he's looking at a 4 or 5, and I'm just visualizing an ace the whole time I'm sitting up here, just trying to will it to happen. Just thinking how epic it would be to maybe tie it up, possibly even take a lead going into the last hole. But I was able to take an AVR and throw it right at the bucket and ended up parking it for the 2 to get within 1 of Paul going into the final hole. Then kind of the opposite last year. I had a pretty comfortable lead And it took me 3 shots to get on the island, and whew, that left me only 1 to play with going into 18. And as y'all know, I was able to get it done on 18, but it's crazy that a 250-foot hole can just like put so much pressure onto you. And my play on here always has been, and probably always will be, throwing AVR. Generally trying to get to the safe side of the green for maybe a chance at 2 or an easy 3, but sometimes you might have to try to park it if you really need that 2 on the championship Saturday, something like that. So yeah, AVR is going to be my play here. That one was a little high, caught some branches, but managed to get over the hay bales inbounds. Probably a good putt at the right basket, but a layup 3 for the left basket. I'll try one more. Oh, thought I might have made that right one. That's a little more what I'm looking for. Not testing the branches up high and keeping it on turn so it's not going to go long, but enough power to clear the hay bales and get a chance at 2 or an easy 3. That left placement on this play is so much harder just because it's just scary to run these longer putts at it. You could go over the hay bales, you could turn it over into the water. So 2 is pretty doable on this right basket, but 3 is great on the left pin. Hole 18 at Winthrop. This is an awesome finishing hole. It's really challenging. It's definitely birdieable. It's definitely pretty easy to make a couple mistakes and end up with a bogey or worse out here too. It's the right side plays out of bounds. There's out of bounds along the tree line on the left, and obviously if you come up short. So for me, the play is to throw a bit of a turnover with a somewhat stable disc. To try to get it to pan out and land, kind of matching the slope of the hill to not get a cut roll or anything like that. I've also been playing with the idea of going really aggressive off the tee. There's that stump you can see up on the hill. That used to be a tree with a mando on it, requiring you to stay left of that, but it's not now. So if I could throw a big power shot that kind of goes right over the top of that stump, I could get really far up the fairway and make birdie a lot easier. So if I'm going for that shot, it'll probably be a Wraith. Otherwise, I'll probably throw a T-Bird or a Thunderbird like this purple one. Oh no. Yikes. Did not quite get on top of that one. Wanted to force it over, but came out a little early, and that'd be OB. That's a pretty bad mistake. I'll try again with the Wraith. Yeah, that one leaked left on me as well. It's easy to mess the shot up if you're going for a big shot, trying to play for birdie. Last year, all I needed to do was par this hole to secure the win, so I ended up just playing putter, 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 putter. That's gonna be what I'm most comfortable with. If I need to make par here, absolutely par, but don't need a birdie. But you gotta throw something faster if you're gonna want a birdie here, and a lot of times you do want that birdie to close out a round. I'll come back and look for that one in a few. We can finish up. if I end up leaking out of bounds left like I did with that Wraith, I'm definitely going to make use of the rule where you're allowed to take straight back from where you crossed out of bounds relative to the basket to try to get a little better angle. On this approach shot, I'm looking to probably throw a gator to get around the corner and kind of get some ground play, get some skips down towards the basket, try to get up and down. Here on 18's green, it's not one you want to have outside the circle look at, but it's definitely a makeable putt. I've made it before, but coming back to this green, it's just amazing how strong the memories are from all the energy and how excited everyone was and how excited I was last year when I was able to tap in that winning putt. It'll always be a special place to me on this green. It's pretty sweet. That wraps up the practice round today here at WINTHROP Golds. Thank you so much to Gatekeeper for filming today, for putting in the work, and thanks so much to Innova Champion for sponsoring this content and for sponsoring myself and for running such an awesome tournament as the USDGC. Hope you guys are as excited to watch as I am to get a chance this week to defend my title. Thanks.